Imagine a time when weapons could burn on water and airships floated like luxury hotels in the sky. Throughout history, some of the most groundbreaking inventions weren't always embraced. They were banned for being too advanced. In this video, we'll explore some of the strangest historical inventions that faced rejection for being ahead of their time. If you enjoy our content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more fascinating videos. Now, let's dive in. The rise of ironclads. In the mid-1800s, the world witnessed a dramatic shift in naval warfare with the introduction of ironclad warships. Unlike traditional wooden vessels, these steam-powered warships were reinforced with thick iron armor, making them nearly invulnerable to conventional artillery. The most famous clash of ironclads occurred during the American Civil War in 1862, when the USS Monitor and the CSS Virginia engaged in the Battle of Hampton Roads. This was the first battle between ironclad ships, demonstrating their superiority over wooden fleets. Traditional wooden warships, once the backbone of naval forces, were suddenly obsolete. The success of ironclads triggered a global arms race. Major naval powers such as Britain, France, and Russia quickly began developing their own ironclad fleets, replacing wooden ships with steel-plated behemoths capable of withstanding heavy cannon fire. By the late 19th century, ironclads evolved into dreadnought-class battleships, setting the stage for modern naval warfare. While some nations later decommissioned or banned ironclads as new technologies emerged, their influence was undeniable. These warships transformed naval strategy, paving the way for the massive battleships and aircraft carriers that dominate modern fleets. The ironclad era marked the beginning of a new age of naval supremacy, where technology, not tradition, dictated the future of warfare. Charles Babbage's difference engine. In the 1830s, visionary mathematician Charles Babbage designed what is often regarded as the first mechanical computer, the difference engine. This groundbreaking device was capable of performing complex calculations with remarkable accuracy, a revolutionary concept at a time when all calculations had to be done manually. Had it been completed, it could have automated mathematical tasks, reducing human errors and saving countless hours for scientists, navigators, and engineers. Despite its immense potential, the difference engine faced significant setbacks. Constructing such an advanced machine was expensive, requiring thousands of precisely machined parts. The British government initially funded the project, recognizing its potential, but skepticism grew over time. Many officials failed to grasp its importance, viewing it as an extravagant expense rather than a necessity. In 1842, after years of delays and rising costs, the government cut Babbage's funding, leaving the difference engine unfinished. Some speculate that the project was not just abandoned, but intentionally suppressed, possibly due to fears that it could disrupt jobs in industries reliant on manual computation. Without support, Babbage's vision remained unrealized in his lifetime. It wasn't until 1991 that engineers at the Science Museum in London successfully built a working difference engine using 19th century techniques, proving that Babbage's design was not only feasible, but truly ahead of its time. His ideas laid the foundation for modern computing, but the world had to wait over a century before the digital revolution could begin. The lost inventions of ancient Greece. The concept of automation dates back much further than the modern era, all the way to ancient Greece. One of the most brilliant minds of the time, Hero of Alexandria, designed early steam-powered machines capable of performing tasks that seemed almost magical. His inventions were centuries ahead of their time, showcasing principles that wouldn't be fully developed until the Industrial Revolution. Among Hero's most remarkable creations was an ancient vending machine. This device worked by dispensing holy water when a coin was inserted, an astonishingly advanced mechanism for the 1st century CE. Hero also designed automated doors, mechanical puppets, and even a primitive steam engine known as the Eolipile, which demonstrated the power of steam propulsion. Some historians believe that Hero's automated systems may have been used in temples, possibly powered by steam to create awe-inspiring illusions that enhanced religious ceremonies. However, much of this groundbreaking knowledge was lost for centuries, and some speculate that it was intentionally suppressed. There are theories that rulers or religious leaders may have feared that widespread automation could disrupt the social order or eliminate traditional jobs. Had the ancient Greeks fully embraced these early automation technologies, their civilization could have been centuries ahead of the rest of the world. It's fascinating to consider how history might have unfolded differently if Hero's inventions had been further developed instead of fading into obscurity. Nikola Tesla's forbidden invention. In 1891, Nikola Tesla, the legendary electrical engineer, invented the Tesla coil, a device capable of producing high-voltage electricity and demonstrating wireless energy transmission. Tesla dreamed of sending power through the air, eliminating the need for wires and allowing electricity to be distributed anywhere in the world. At the time, this idea was nothing short of revolutionary, but it was also seen as incredibly dangerous. Tesla's demonstrations, which filled the air with crackling lightning bolts, left people both amazed and terrified. The potential of wireless electricity raised concerns, from fears of weaponized energy to the collapse of traditional power grids. Some speculate that powerful figures, afraid of losing control over the energy industry, suppressed Tesla's work, leading to his coil being banned in certain places. Though wireless power transmission never truly took off during his lifetime, Tesla's coil laid the groundwork for future breakthroughs in energy and technology. Today, it remains a spectacle in science museums, but it also serves as a symbol of lost potential. It makes you wonder, what if the world had fully embraced Tesla's vision? How different would our technology be today if wireless energy had been perfected over a century ago? Leonardo da Vinci's flying machine. In the late 15th century, Leonardo da Vinci was already imagining flight centuries before it became a reality. One of his most fascinating sketches was the aerial screw, a device that strongly resembled a modern helicopter. His design featured a large spiral rotor that, in theory, could lift a machine off the ground. However, there was one big flaw: it relied on human power. Operators would have had to manually crank the screw, which wouldn't have been nearly fast enough to generate lift, let alone keep the machine in the air. Because of this limitation, the idea was never built and was largely ignored for centuries as too outlandish for its time. Though it wasn't officially banned, Da Vinci's vision was far ahead of the technology available. But here's the amazing part. Modern helicopters are based on the very same concept he sketched over 500 years ago, just powered by engines instead of human muscle. Imagine trying to fly a helicopter by cranking it like a paddle boat. Now that's a funny thought. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Now, let's move on to the next invention. The Vikings' lost navigation tool. The Vikings were among history's most skilled navigators, sailing vast distances across unpredictable and often dangerous seas. Their ability to traverse the North Atlantic, reaching as far as Greenland and possibly North America, was nothing short of extraordinary. But how did they navigate with such accuracy, especially in poor weather or during the endless darkness of Arctic winters? One of their most fascinating alleged tools was the sunstone, believed to be a form of Iceland spar, a translucent crystal that can polarize light. By holding the stone up to the sky and rotating it, Viking sailors could determine the direction of the sun, even when it was hidden behind clouds or below the horizon. This would have given them a significant advantage, allowing them to confidently chart their course without relying solely on landmarks or celestial navigation. Yet, despite its potential importance, the Vikings left no written records detailing how they used the sunstone. Over time, this knowledge faded into legend, and it wasn't until modern experiments proved its effectiveness that scientists began to understand how it might have worked. Had this remarkable technology been passed down and refined, it's possible the Vikings could have ventured even farther, perhaps altering the course of world exploration forever. The rise and fall of the Zeppelin. In the early 1900s, the Zeppelin revolutionized air travel. Unlike airplanes, these massive airships provided a luxurious and comfortable way to cross great distances. The interiors were lavish, almost like flying hotels, offering passengers a level of comfort unheard of in early aviation. Invented by Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin, these airships were considered engineering marvels. However, they had a major weakness: they were highly vulnerable, especially during wartime. In World War I, Germany used Zeppelins for bombing raids over Britain, but as faster, more agile aircraft were developed, the airships quickly became obsolete. Then came the Hindenburg disaster in 1937. The LZ-129 Hindenburg, one of the largest airships ever built, caught fire while landing in New Jersey. The crash killed 36 people, and the terrifying images of the burning airship shattered public confidence in Zeppelin travel. After that, commercial airship travel was effectively banned and zeppelins faded from use, except for advertising and specialty purposes. It makes you wonder, if the technology had been perfected, could airships have remained a major form of travel today? The mechanical clock. The invention of the mechanical clock in the 13th century was nothing short of revolutionary. Before its arrival, people relied on sundials, water clocks, and church bells to track time. But with the advent of precise mechanical timekeeping, society underwent a major transformation. For the first time, work could be scheduled down to the minute, making daily life far more structured and efficient. Sounds great, right? Well, not everyone thought so. The mechanical clock wasn't universally welcomed. In fact, some places banned its widespread use at first. Why? Because it disrupted the natural rhythm of life. Suddenly, people's routines were dictated by a ticking machine rather than the rising and setting of the sun. Work hours became strictly regulated, and some even feared the clock's impact on religion, as church bells were no longer the primary way to schedule prayers and daily activities. The introduction of mechanical clocks marked the beginning of industrialization, shifting society from a world in harmony with natural cycles to one governed by rigid timekeeping. It became both a symbol of progress and a tool for control, a sign that technology was beginning to reshape human life in ways people had never imagined. Not to be overly dramatic or anything, but the age of the clock changed everything. Greek fire. In the 7th century, the Byzantine Empire created a weapon so powerful it seemed almost magical: Greek fire. This terrifying substance could burn on water, stick to anything it touched, and keep burning even when doused. It was a game-changer in naval warfare, helping the Byzantines maintain their dominance for centuries. The exact formula for Greek fire was a closely guarded secret, and to this day, no one knows exactly how it was made. Historians believe it might have contained sulfur, naphtha, a flammable hydrocarbon, and quicklime, but the full recipe remains a mystery. The Byzantine navy used special siphons mounted on ships to spray the flaming liquid onto enemy vessels, turning battles into fiery nightmares. The fear surrounding Greek fire was so intense that some people thought it had mystical powers. Rivals desperately tried to reverse engineer it, but the secret was lost over time. By the end of the Byzantine Empire, the knowledge of Greek fire had vanished with it. While it wasn't exactly banned, it disappeared from history, leaving behind only legends. And honestly, maybe that's a good thing. The Tesla death ray. Nikola Tesla, one of history's greatest inventors, claimed to have designed a particle beam weapon known as Teleforce, or the Tesla death ray. This weapon could shoot down enemy aircraft from miles away using a concentrated stream of high-energy particles capable of melting metal and vaporizing targets instantly. Tesla believed it could end warfare by making invasions impossible. Tesla attempted to sell his invention to several world governments, including the US, Britain, and the Soviet Union, but found little official interest. However, some reports suggest the Soviet Union may have funded part of his research. Though Tesla claimed to have completed his design, he never fully documented it, keeping crucial details in his head. After Tesla's death in 1943, the US government immediately seized his papers. The FBI and the Office of Alien Property Custodian took control of his belongings, later stating that his work posed no threat. However, some of his notes were never made public, sparking rumors that elements of his research may have influenced later directed energy weapon (DEW) projects. Was Tesla's death ray suppressed out of fear of its power? Did governments secretly use his ideas for advanced weaponry? Or was it simply an unworkable theory? Today, countries like the US, China, and Russia are actively developing directed energy weapons, such as high-powered lasers and microwave-based defense systems. Whether Tesla's lost research played a role remains a mystery. If the death ray had been developed, could it have prevented World War II? Or would it have sparked an even deadlier arms race? One thing is certain: Tesla was ahead of his time, and his lost inventions still intrigue the world today. Starlite. In the 1980s, a British hairdresser turned inventor named Maurice Ward stunned the world with a mysterious heat-resistant material called Starlite. This plastic-like substance could withstand extreme heat, intense explosions, and even nuclear blasts, a claim that was proven in several public demonstrations. One of the most famous tests took place on live television, where a blowtorch was used to heat an egg coated in Starlite. While the flame reached over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 1,100 degrees Celsius, the egg inside remained completely raw. Even more incredibly, Starlite was exposed to laser beams and simulated nuclear explosions, yet it barely showed signs of damage. Starlite's potential applications were limitless, from fireproofing buildings and aircraft to protecting space shuttles and military equipment. The material was reportedly tested by NASA and the UK's Atomic Weapons Establishment, proving its incredible thermal resistance. However, despite growing interest, Ward refused to sell the formula, fearing it would be misused by corporations or governments for military purposes. Unlike most inventors who seek patents, Ward kept Starlite's composition a secret, revealing only that it contained organic polymers and ceramics. He claimed to have memorized the formula and shared it only with close family members. When Ward passed away in 2011, the secret died with him. No one has successfully recreated Starlite, leaving it as one of the greatest lost inventions of modern times. Was Starlite suppressed to protect powerful industries? Or did Ward's fears lead to the loss of a material that could have revolutionized fireproof technology? Whatever the truth, Starlite remains a mystery, a glimpse of what could have been one of the most important discoveries of the 20th century. Damascus steel. During the Middle Ages, Damascus steel was regarded as the pinnacle of sword making, producing blades of legendary sharpness, strength, and resilience. These swords were said to be so sharp they could slice through a silk scarf drifting in the air, and so strong they could split a rock or cut other swords in half. Warriors prized them for their unmatched durability and flexibility, making them superior to most European weapons of the time. The secret behind Damascus steel lay in its forging process, which utilized a unique blend of high-carbon steel, possibly derived from Wootz steel imported from India and Sri Lanka. The distinctive wavy patterns on the blades were not just decorative, they were a result of the intricate metallurgy that gave these swords their unparalleled properties. However, by the 18th century, the knowledge of how to forge true Damascus steel was mysteriously lost. Some believe this was due to depleted sources of key raw materials, while others suggest the blacksmithing techniques were never properly recorded and were forgotten over generations. Modern scientists and metallurgists have tried to recreate Damascus steel, but none have fully replicated its legendary properties. If this ancient knowledge had survived, who knows how it might have influenced the development of advanced materials and modern weaponry. The Cloudbuster. Wilhelm Reich, an Austrian scientist and psychoanalyst, was known for his unconventional theories, particularly his belief in orgone energy, a mysterious life force he claimed permeated the universe. In the 1950s, Reich built a device called the Cloudbuster, which he believed could manipulate atmospheric energy and even make it rain. The machine consisted of metal pipes connected to cables and water sources, supposedly drawing energy from the sky and disrupting weather patterns. According to Reich and his supporters, the Cloudbuster was successfully tested, allegedly breaking droughts and influencing cloud formation. Some witnesses even reported unexpected rainfalls after the device was used. However, the scientific community remained deeply skeptical, dismissing his claims as pseudoscience. The US government, on the other hand, took his work seriously, but not in a good way. They shut down his research, banned his publications, and even burned his books. Reich was arrested for violating FDA regulations regarding his other inventions, and he later died in prison in 1957. His Cloudbuster was dismantled, and his work was largely erased from mainstream science. To this day, theories swirl around Reich's research. Was he silenced because his machine actually worked, or was it truly just pseudoscience? If Reich was right, could we have mastered weather control decades ago? The truth remains buried, leaving us to wonder what could have been. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more fascinating content. Thanks for watching.